Hey, all my adventurers, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, please hit that subscription button. For all the recent subscribers and the day one subscribers, I thank you so very much for your support. Now, today's vlog, again, a little bit out of my niche, right? You know, I always do tours and show you guys different parts of Jamaica. Side note, for those who don't know, I own and operate a tour company in Jamaica. So if you're looking to travel to Jamaica and you need tours and transportation, then reach out to me. But anyways, this vlog is about the grand opening of the Anchovy police station. Again, some might say a bit out of my niche, but this is actually where my family is from, and I was invited, so I decided, yes, I'm gonna go. Speaking of family, right? My parents, they went to Anchovy High School, which is right down the road from here. That's where they met, and they actually recently celebrated their anniversary. So, guys, I want you to help to wish my parents a happy anniversary. I almost forgot. I'm trying to make up for that. And I also want to give a shout out to the Bowen family, right? But anyways, let's get into the vlog. So we're going to go straight into the opening. The most honorable Dr. Horris Chang, who is the Deputy Prime Minister, as well as the Minister of National Security, as well as the Member of Parliament for Northwest St. James. So he was here, was one doing the grand opening along with some of the other dignitaries. Now, there was a whole ceremony. I'm actually going to put the entire ceremony at the end, and I'm going to get straight into the actual opening of the police station. So this is where they're cutting the ribbon. I'm going to take you guys on the tour, right? I'm actually going to show you guys what the police station looked like before, right? So this right here, these are the pictures of what the police station looked like before, right? In truth, it was basically a retrofitted old post office that they were using. And now let's go on the inside to see what it looks like now. Upon entering, they had an electronic board showcasing the difference in the number of murders from January to May 2024 and January to May 2025. So it was a 44% decrease from 499 to 281, which is a big decrease for us, right? This is the interview room. I'm going to show you some of the other areas. Again, this is the front desk area. Like I said, all of the officials were there, the dignitaries, the Honorable Omar Davis, Honorable Horris Chang, Honorable Juliet Cuthbert Flynn. The mayor was there, and they all did their piece and said their piece, but that is going to be at the end. I'm just showing you guys the police station, right? So this is the area, and I'm going to show you again what it looked like before, right? And I'm telling you, the conditions that the police officers were working under was just wow, like it was just a loss for words. So this is what the reception area looked like before. So when you walked into the retrofitted post office that was a police station, this is what you would have been met with, right? And again, like look at, you could see that some steel was exposed in the ceiling. Like it just looks terrible. Look at the desk. It looks as if the rat was eating it up. Like what's happening? But you know, they've finally received proper working conditions. This is the reception area now, you know, and it's a brand new area, and I hope and pray that they maintain it to the best of their abilities, right? So this is a criminal investigation room. This is a every area, there was a small area, and each area had the desk, the chair, the filing cabinets, and the AC, right? The air conditioning units. So and again, maintenance is very important, especially with the AC. I hope they service them and they clean them and, you know, just maintain it so that they have it for years to come, right? This is what one of the rooms looked like prior. As you can see, it's a major upgrade from what they were working with, right? This is a traffic court room. So, obviously, I'm not a police officer, right? But from what I can see when I did the walkthrough with everybody else is that each department, so to speak, had their own little room, right? Again, another picture showing what they had to work with versus what they have now. So this is a sub officer IC. I don't know what IC mean. Maybe IC mean in charge. I don't know. These are the holding cells. I'm actually not going to show you the holding cells. I was asked not to show it. Instead, I'm going to ask you guys to check out some of my other vlogs, right? I have the hospital vlog I posted recently. So if you want to see updates on that, you can. Different things to do in Jamaica, different restaurants. I do Airbnb vlogs. I do all of it. Also, guys, so I know I can't show you guys the cell, but I just want to mention that I don't know what the cells look like prior, but I am pretty certain that now what I saw is way better. And they also had some showers around the back, and the showers had shower head. This is it right here. It was at least 4 of them. Now, again, respecting their wishes, it asked me not to show the inside the cell, so we're gonna move on to the other areas of the police station. Up next, it's a prisoner's guard slash processing room, and this room also has I guess this is where they're gonna keep the prisoners' property and stuff like that, you know? Like, cause as I mentioned, we just saw a piece of the holding cell, but there's also a bathroom, and like the picture on the left shows you what the bathroom looked like. Look at the ceiling. It's just crazy, right? Right adjacent to that, there is the server room, which again really didn't have much for me to show you, but I still went in there. It was very cold. The AC in there was definitely kicking. And then this is the restroom area downstairs. Again, that's another picture on the left showing you what the restroom looked like in the retrofitted Anchovy police station, right? So again, major upgrades, and there's also an upstairs to this facility, this new facility, which is basically the living quarters for some of the police officers, because you know a police station, sorry, is a 24-hour thing, right? So you see everybody's going upstairs, so we're going upstairs for me to show you guys what upstairs look like, right? So immediately when you reach upstairs, you basically enter the kitchen, brand new kitchen. Again, the picture on the left show what the kitchen looked like before, what they had to be working in. So they have brand new kitchen. They have really nice, living quarters. It's clean, those beds are like, the little kids bed, but, in order to maximize on the number of persons getting a bed, that's basically the type of beds you have to put in these places, right? And as I mentioned before, like we've seen a major reduction in crime in Jamaica. I think it's been the lowest it has been since in the last 25 years. As I mentioned before, there's been a 44% decrease in crime between January to May last year and January to May this year. And I'm telling you, people, the police officers are working. I don't know if it's the increase in the number of police officers. I don't know if it's the new vehicles that they got. I don't know if it's because I get them to do a ticketing system, but the police officers are out here. I drive right across the island every day or every other day because I do tours and transportation. And I'm telling you, everywhere I go, I see these police officers. And it's like a new breed of police officer. One time they would have asked if your phone number, and you can't just give them a phone number, but you're probably not to get a ticket. No? They're not even doing that anymore. They're not even asking you for your phone number. They're not asking what kind of work you do. They're not asking nothing. All them asking for is a license and registration. And not even for ask for that no more because they have them technology where them can take a picture of your license plate and see what is going on. And yeah. But anyways, guys, I went on a little rant right there, right? But that's basically the tour of the station, right? And before I get into all of the officials talking and giving their speech and all of that, I want to take the time out to give a shout out and make a mention of the breadfruit chips, Just Cool's breadfruit chips. If you guys have tried it, you should definitely try it. It's really nice. All my breadfruit lovers out there, they have the regular one, they have the barbecue one. You can't go wrong. And you see that painting above my head, I want to give a shout out to Reese's. He did that. That's actually a picture that he printed to make into a Canva. So yeah, I just wanted to take this little break to give them a shout out. So now, let's get into the official ceremony that they had when they were doing the opening. And all right, guys, so this is the program for the ceremony that's about to take place. I actually tried my very best to put some caption on it. You see as we go along, some of it might not match or might not be there, but bear with me. It wasn't the easiest, right? But anyway, we're going to get into it. We did the national anthem and the prayer already, so now it's the male.
Mr. Richard Stewart, Acting Commissioner, and esteemed officers of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Honorable Conrad Pitkin, Custos of St. James, Senator Councillor Charles Sinclair and other councillors of the St. James Municipal Corporation, Mr. Alex Bernard, AGM at the National Housing Trust, other representatives of ministry departments and agencies, community and school leaders, business leaders, proud citizens of Anchovy and Greater St. James, good morning. Good morning. Today marks a pivotal moment for Anchovy and the reality of public safety across Western Jamaica. The ceremonial commissioning of this police station is a strategic intervention in a region historically burdened by under-resourced security infrastructure, rising threat to community cohesion, and high incidence of crime. Let us remember one of our most murderous periods, 1998 to 2002. Jamaica recorded almost 5,000 homicides. 89% of victims were male, and 80% were aged 15 to 44. St. James, particularly Montego Bay, has long been a flashpoint with over 70% of murders in recent years linked to gang activity. Anchovy, though often overlooked, has felt the tremors of this violence, underscoring the need for embedded, community-based policing and a modern infrastructure. In pursuit of transformation, social overhead infrastructure must be robust. It speaks to the presence of government in the community, respect for the people, and a sustainable future. This facility is a direct outcome of the government's strategic push on the Vision 2030 to build a secure, cohesive society. It complements the zones of special operations and other sections of St. James, the Jamaica High Surveillance Network, and the Ministry of National Security's 5-pillar strategic crime plan. But more importantly, it reflects a shift from episodic enforcement to a sustained engagement. Anchovy's new station is designed to respond to crime and notably to curtail it through various forms of restorative justice, youth diversion programs, and community intelligence that I anticipate when full capacity is implemented. This will be the space where law enforcement meets civic trust. Historically, Anchovy was a quiet agricultural settlement. Today it is a growing peri-urban community with expanding economic potential and is becoming increasingly more important to Montego Bay. Therefore, this government of vision, care and action understands the trajectory and the need to invest in its people. Decided that Anchovy must no longer be a glance over, but a real case for development. A few weeks ago, we were commissioning a major water system for this constituency. Last week we signed a contract for Richmond Hill road rehabilitation, and today Anchovy Police Station. The work must continue. Your Member of Parliament, Homer Davis, has made tremendous representation on your behalf. As Mayor, I affirm our commitment from the Municipal Corporation to support and partner in any way we can to ensure that this facility fulfills its purpose, one that will be transparent, accountable, and community-driven. Let us cut another ribbon into a safer, smarter, more secure future. Welcome to the Anchovy Police Station. Welcome to the city of Montego Bay. Let progress be for protection. God bless you. Choose Anchovy, choose Montego Bay, and always choose Jamaica. Thank you.
As a particular space and deliver service to you, the residents of the surrounding communities. So please put your hands together for Mr. Alex Bernard, the Assistant General Manager of Construction and Development at the National Housing Trust, who will bring now some greetings.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony. So to the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Horris Chang, the Ministers of State from both the Office of Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security, the Mayor, Councillor Richard Vernon, other political representatives, NHD executive and staff members, the Ministry of National Security through the JCF, represented by Deputy Commissioner Richard Stewart and his team, project stakeholders, members of the Anchovy community, ladies and gentlemen all, good morning.
Good morning.
Kindly permit me to firstly adopt the remainder of the already established protocols, as it is my pleasure to be here in Anchovy to mark the official handover of the newly upgraded Anchovy Police Station. And this is right on the heels of last week Wednesday's handover of a similar station in Stony Hill. These handovers are testament to our vision and unwavering commitment to build safer, stronger communities where Jamaicans are proud to live, work, raise families, and do business. Through this investment and others like it, the NEC continues to demonstrate that our role in national development goes well beyond providing houses. We are also proud partners in shaping the social fabric of Jamaica. It was in his 2017-2018 budget presentation that Prime Minister Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness announced the construction and refurbishing of police station programs to improve the physical infrastructure and living conditions of police stations within a 10-mile radius of NHD developments. Since then, we've been working steadily to bring this vision to life. Modern purpose-built facilities have already been completed in 8 communities, to include the aforementioned Stony Hill. We have also refurbished and upgraded the specialized operations barracks, our mobile reserve, and 3 additional stations are currently at various stages of planning and construction. When we broke ground on this project just over 2.5 years ago, we did not want to construct just a building. We wanted to build a facility where the community and law enforcement could build trust, connect, and share responsibility. We wanted to design a station that would support the well-being and effectiveness of those who serve, and today I am proud to say, job well done. The original station was demolished and replaced with a brand new facility spanning over 5,000 square feet. This upgraded station now features administrative offices, upgraded holding cells, aligned closer to human rights and standards, of course, and comfortable living quarters for officers. It also includes a fully equipped kitchen and laundry area to support the day-to-day needs of the team. We believe in the power of sustainability, and so the station will soon benefit from solar energy and rainwater harvesting systems, the plans of which are already in train. Today's achievement is the result of what happens when purpose aligns with partnership. So thank you to the Ministry of National Security, to the JCF, and to our many partners for their collaboration on this journey. I must specially commend our construction teams and technical stakeholders, especially the Special Projects Unit at the NHT. Mrs. Johnson, which many of us know, was not able to make it today, but she's aptly represented by her team, David Daly, Jerry Allen, I see Tracy as well, from Special Projects Unit. Engineering and Contract Monitoring Department of the NHT as well provided support. Andre McIntosh, your effort will not go unnoticed on this. And if the crowd would permit me, I'd just like to give these team members a round of applause. Your coordination, expertise, and commitment ensured that this project was delivered on time, within budget, and to the highest standard. To the officers of the Jamaica Constabulary Force who will serve here, we salute your courage and thank you for your service. We hope this facility empowers you to continue your mission with even greater strength, and that it also serves as a place of support and reprieve amongst the demands of your duties. To the residents of Anchovy, this station is for you. Together, let us continue to work together to build a safer, more resilient Anchovy for generations to come. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on with the program, just a quick public service announcement. If you are the driver of a motor vehicle license 4100,
good afternoon. I will be doing a pro-black pride in colors. A sense of pride is surging from my heart because the complexion of my skin has set me apart. My skin is not yellow, my skin is not white. But in it I feel special and unique. In it I feel right. Black and beautiful, I feel so proud. I stand out so elegantly in just any crowd. I am always mindful of who I am, a beautiful product of the Caribbean. So many gifts and talents invested in me. I can be who God created me to be. I can rub my shoulders with anyone because my purpose in life I clearly understand. I am not intimidated by the challenges in life. I just put my trust in God and avoid all strives. Knowing I have the power to be the best I can be, When through God, I am spiritually and mentally free. I now know the truth, and the truth has set me free. When through God, we are one, you see. We are not defined by the pigment of our skin, but the beauty that lies deep within. Today I parade the sash, I'm proud black, because I hail from a very important stock, a significant member of the human race, a subset of the universal set. I stand with grace.
Honorable Dr. Horris Chang, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security. Honorable Omar Davis, Minister of State, Office of the Prime Minister. Honorable Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, Minister of National Security, in the Ministry of National Security. His Worship, the Mayor of Montego Bay, Councillor Richard Bernard. Honorable Conrad Pitkin, Custos Rotolorum, St. James. Councillors, Assistant Commissioner of Police and colleagues, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is both an honor and privilege to stand before you today, representing Commissioner of Police Dr. Kevin Blake, at this official opening of the Anchovy Police Station here in the parish of St. James. This ceremony marks another important milestone in the commitment to develop fit-for-purpose police facilities, spaces that foster meaningful interaction between citizens and law enforcement while equipping our officers to respond with greater effectiveness and efficiency. We are grateful to the government of Jamaica for their continued support in making this vision a reality. Special recognition must also be given to the National Housing Trust for its role as a lead implementing agency and to our very own Property Management and Maintenance Division for their diligence in ensuring that this project was completed to standard. The Anchovy Police District forms part of the St. James Police Division, a division that has recorded commendable progress in reducing violent crimes. For the comparative period in 2024, we have seen a 59% reduction in murders, with 83 murders reported last year compared to the 34 this year. This is a major success and a direct result of sustained enforcement, intelligence-led policing, and community support. That said, the investment in Anchovy could not be more timely. While the wider division is showing progress, major crimes in the Anchovy Police District itself have increased by 67%. Rising from 6 to 10 incidents, with murders doubling from 2 to 4. However, these figures must be considered in context, as they still represent a major reduction from the 11 murders recorded in year 2022 and 2023. More importantly, this investment, along with our strong and growing relationship with the residents of Anchovy, gives us confidence that we will deliver more welcoming outcomes in the months ahead. This brings me to a critical point: the public trust. The trust and confidence of the people we serve are critical. Without meaningful public partnership, our progress, especially the 41.4% national reduction in murders, would not be possible. We acknowledge, however, that the public trust is fragile, shaped not only by direct experiences with the police, but also by what is observed or heard from third parties. As such, the High Command continues to act deliberately to protect and build public trust and confidence. To this end, we continue to reward officers who demonstrate professionalism and integrity, while at the same time act swiftly and impartially to hold accountable those whose actions damage public trust. Let me also assure you that hard work is being done by our officers every single day to secure your safety and further enhance the trust. Since the start of the year, our members have laid 197 charges for murder, 148 charges for shootings, 664 charges for breaches of the Firearms Act. Let me pause to point out that of the 664 firearm charges, 641 persons were at the time of their arrest in possession of a firearm. Still, there is more to be done. Intelligence have pointed to 212 individuals across the island that have committed at least 3 murders. Our investigators are actively pursuing these cases with the ultimate goal of bringing them to justice. Additionally, intelligence also identified 127 active criminal gangs across the island, which require constant attention as we work to disrupt, degrade, and dismantle their operations. In this regard, your trust and confidence is indispensable. While the task is significant, it is achievable. We are enjoying commendable results because of your partnership with us. As this relationship strengthens, so too will our success. We therefore urge you, be vigilant, be involved, and be intolerant of anything or anyone who threatens our relationship and ultimately the integrity of our security efforts. Looking ahead, we will continue with the focus on our people, quality, and technology as we solidify the public trust and modernize our policing approach. To the residents of Anchovy, this is your police station. Please help us keep this vital resource well maintained so it can continue to be an asset for years to come. Let us move forward together, Anchovy and the wider St. James community, knowing that every step we take to build law and order is a step toward national development. Thank you and happy independence.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is indeed hot here in Anchovy, but it is hot for a purpose. Let me recognize Honorable Dr. Horris Chang, Member of Parliament for Northwest St. James, Deputy Prime Minister of Jamaica, and Minister of National Security. Let me also recognize our Custos Conrad Pitkin, Custos with the Laurel for this parish of St. James. Mayor Councillor Richard Berner, Mayor of the City of Montego Bay. Deputy Commissioner of Police Richard Stewart, representing our Commissioner of Police. Let me also recognize my parliamentary colleague, Mrs. Juliet Cuthbert Flynn. We sat beside each other in Parliament, where we occupy 2 rural constituencies, so we have rural thinking. Let me say today, I know the salutation, this is very long, but there are so many persons to recognize here today. Assistant Commissioner Miller, who was in charge of the police era 1, and my good friend SSP Samuels, this is Senator Sinclair, Councillor Baker. I can't tell you how I feel today. I am happy
person here today. Happy as a member of parliament, but happy as a citizen that this police division will serve. As a matter of fact, Minister Chang and myself, the Anchovy is our police area. We lived in the police area of Anchovy. So it is a good feeling, very good feeling. Let me say to us here, I am happy to boast yet again, we are walking cut ribbon. It's not only police station ribbons we are cutting other ribbons across Jamaica. When I speak of community safety, we are not just talking about crime. We are talking about peace of mind. Mothers sleeping easier at night. Children playing freely and businesses thriving in a secure environment. And none of this is possible without the men and women in uniform, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, who serve, protect, and put themselves on the line every single day. But how can we expect our officers to do their best if we don't give them the best? And this police station, I'm sure when you all go inside, you will realize that Anchovy Police Station is the best in St. James at this time. This facility, and I'm sure Senior Superintendent Summers can attest to that. This facility, modern, secure, and outfitted for service, is a direct reflection of this government's commitment to improving the environment in which our officers operate. Let me take a moment to congratulate Dr. Horris Chang for his who has been relentless in his mission to improve the police infrastructure across the length and breadth of Jamaica. And let me remind all of us that this would not be possible without the solid economic achievement of the Prime Minister Andrew Holness led administration. Good economic management isn't just about numbers. It's about enabling real results. Roads, water, school buses, police stations, or Prime Minister's stadiums have allowed progress to break ground, literally right here in Anchovy. But what does this Anchovy police station mean for the constituency of St. James Southern? It represents confidence. It represents safety. It represents a place where law meets community, not with fear, but with partnership. And for my beloved constituency of St. James Southern, it's a reminder that no corner is forgotten. Progress must touch every district, every town, every person. Because when we improve the space where the officers work, we uplift the space where citizens live. Let's be honest. Security is not a luxury. It is a right. And today we move one step closer to making that right a reality for the Anchovy and surrounding areas. We are not just opening a building, we are opening the doors to stronger enforcement, swifter response, and a deep community trust. So let the station be a beacon of hope, a base for bravery, and the fortress for fairness. And to the officer who will walk these halls, you are not alone. You are not forgotten. And you must certainly not be taken for granted. Together, let us continue to build a safer, stronger, and a more secure St. James. The numbers speaks for itself. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks to my Anchovy family to be here today to share in this momentous occasion, an occasion that we all was longing for. It has now become a reality, the Anchovy Police Station. Thank you very much.
He's the MP for which area? Anybody know which area is the MP for?
Northwest.
No, don't. Where am I? Am I in St. James? Minister Chang is the MP for what area?
Northwest St.
I'm hearing it loudly from the front here. Northwest St. James. Please put your hands together for Dr. Horris Chang.
Yeah, Jamaica, yeah, good, yeah. I make we enjoy life, what we feel safe at night. Jamaica, yeah, good. I better you and I, no say the future bright. Jamaica, live good. I make the blood stop run. People want to have some fun.
Thank you. That's our social marketing song, Live Good. As old people say, must live good. But you have to live good when things are peaceful. All the time, but it's easier when things are peaceful. First of all, the young man who just so commend the young singer from Montego Primary. I want to assure him that we're not going to give up. We're not finishing. And the old people say, a come will just a come. And I have the assurance of my officers and the police officers are here this morning. Allow me to recognize a long list of protocol here, but I think again it's my duty as Deputy Prime Minister to be here. But as my chairman outlined my endurance, I have to remind the audience that I chose a Minister of State, recruited her in my ministry. She's an Olympian medalist. She's my coach. My colleague, Minister Juliet Cuthbert, who does this morning, we're privileged to work with her as she handles a large section of the portfolio, very broad ministry, in particular the crime prevention and correction service. And it's a pleasure to have her in the West this morning. The first thing she come to the West, you know. I'll tell her she had to come at that particular time we are in the street, maybe a good time for her to come, a little more coaching lessons out here. A colleague, Minister Homer Davis, who is a member of Parliament for South St. James, which this particular police is located. Senator Sinclair, who is from the distinguished constituency of Northwest St. James, and is a senior senator doing a lot of work at that level as well in the government. With him is today his worship the mayor, young Councillor Vernon, and to assure someone listening that the transition and development of St. James on a certain line with the Councillor Senator Sinclair and Mr. Vernon is guaranteed and secure in good hands for good leadership in the future, since as my friend indicated, they have endurance but not that level of longevity to continue forever. So there's some strong young men who will take charge of the operations and move on. From the police force of before I go to the police force or Costas Pitkin, Bishop Pitkin, Costas St. James, Bishop of the Faith Assemblies, Faith Temple, Montego Bay, but a good friend of mine. I won't tell you how long it has been, but he's an outstanding public servant in his own right, and minister. Of course, the minister who gave us the ceremony from the Baptist Church. This morning, Councillor Gavin from the Anchovy Division. My apologies. I must also apologize to my permanent secretary, Ambassador Alice Stone, who is the operator of the ministry, but she's represented by our friend, the Delaware Simpson, Chief Technical Director, who handles a lot of the construction work. I'm from the Jamaica Consular Force. We are here today to recognize a team of officers. Deputy Commissioner Richard Stewart, who is here representing the Commissioner Kevin Blake. Unfortunately, is off the island, but he is represented by a very strong team. At a point in time when he can always, if he takes a little space, there's no gap. And in particular, Montego Bay, Mr. Miller and his team, and Mr. Aaron Samuels, who hold it together very effectively. Some wonder how, but they do a remarkable job. And it's reflection of their leadership, of course. They have a strong team of police officers who do remarkable work in extremely difficult circumstances. We commend them. I see from the local authority, our Secretary, Executive Officer, Ms. Hoskell, here as well. They play a critical role in ensuring the operation of the plans on time for the development of this kind of building. The President, the Chairman of the Jamaica the Police Federation, have it correct, Ms. McLean, very good, but she carries a critical role. The Police Federation is the legal responsibility to ensure the welfare of our police officers. And of course, their advocacy is crucial to ensure, as we say, we keep our feet on the ground in matters concerning the police force. And herself and her board carry out an effective role that she has accompanying a number of our colleagues here. And it's the era, unfortunately, in the old days, except for when we're fighting over salaries, you don't recognize how much work the Federation and what responsibility carries in ensuring that we maintain the certain aspects of the force in place. But to the members of the press, the contractors, the engineers, members of the housing trust, not putting it last but not least in any way, because we're coming back for some more money, you know. So I don't think I think put the other bottom. I see something like that here. And members of the media and members, citizens of the community from Anchovy and St. James generally, to attend this morning to witness this opening of this wonderful new police station. It's a hot morning, and there's a long protocol I have to repeat a little bit. And a friend showed me a little picture a while ago, because I look at the book certainly success in the ministry of national security, not the green one. Other people may have this around this morning, but this one is city security for the Minister of National Security. And I knew this police station before, but I showed that picture and I thought that good thing to start by looking at it. Difficult to see if you have a copy, look at it. Which is a picture of the old Montego police station and the new one. And I want to say this is a graphic example of the old versus the new. And if you looked at what the police were asked to work for. This one may have been universal, because as I discussed with the Deputy Commissioner, when we decided to demolish this one, they were in a post office. Now I'm not sure where they're packaging to send the police to. But they're being packaged, shipped out in a post office, part of a post office. In that, the building that was here was rendered impossible to operate in, and they were taken out and put in the post office. And I said, Mr. Deputy Commissioner, I'm not sure you're packaging them and what was the address there and destination. But that was what the then leaders of the time thought of the police. And the first thing we had to do was to change the entire policy regime, and this is why I went discussion about already before we execute the program. The activity and the programs evolve from a defined policy indicating what you want and where you want to go. Yeah. So have a long speech written by one of my security advisors, a police officer, a very good officer. But I tried to cut it short, so I draw the picture there. Because I said, it's a good example of the thinking then. If you could think of moving a police station which had iterated the point that it could be occupied and then the old place could put them in the post office. It reflects the kind of thinking that was really primitive, embarrassing, and in fact not in keeping with getting peace and good order in the society. And I don't think that can be considered in any way part of the reality of what was there. When we started to build, the station was built in St. James because of the minister from St. James. As I outlined, number of done. And that Homer Davis is like my brother. We work together closely. We're neighbors at one stage and family friends. Although it's the second one open in St. James, the picture I showed was Mount Salem. But we just didn't go about building police station when my SMP called me 5 times for the day and asked me about it, or that the chairman of the fellowship, Ms. Papino, then chairman of the can't tell me how it's Gale or the one up in St. Catherine's top is falling apart and birds flying through the window to eat out the officers' lunch when they go for lunch. Or that kind of thing. In order to get a kind of structured response, what I did, we had an engineer. Who went across the island and examined every single police station. Not all facilities, the big police stations, and grade them according to the condition. 1, 2, 3. Basic repairs. At that time, because stations were in a certain light, so basic repairs were like fixing toilets that the policemen had proper toilets to operate. Ensuring that the roof was not leaking and that the ladies, like Miss Patty, when she got to work, they dropped to the floor with her high heel. That was what was considered basic first stage. But we set about looking at that and assessing them, and we'll do that. The second one were one which needed major overhaul. And that means quite likely you're barely define a couple of places where the policemen could operate, and if you did it on a serial basis, you could fix something that could work in. And then we had those who had to say demolish and start over. And that's where with the Anchovy today. And I said, interestingly, I had to support that was the base on which we set about to rebuild and improve police station. And not do the political architecture of a particular community. And they create a program, rebuild, overhaul, and construct to provide the police with adequate working conditions. That's how we set about it. Many other things were done because, of course, a modern police station requires certain facilities which would have to be in place, particular communication, etc. But that was, I would take the day to go to them. This is a booklet outline some of them, and I thought I'd certainly saw them today at this opening. But the characteristics of a police station, we had to redesign everything. And again, before moving into the presentation proper, let's say redesign and monitor quality. And there's a department, the police force now called Property Management and Development, which plays a critical role. Design, you can understand very easily. One of the first things I asked the then commissioner to do is to consider, he's an engineer. I'd like us to see at the police action well that we changed the concept of a guard room when you walk in, which was a little place that police basically had this with a big book. The book was maybe bigger than the door. And if you try to open it inside there and write down the data, collect information, but if you try to put it here, it's almost heavy enough to can't go here. That was what they had to work with. But I was a bit frightened to go there because it was tend to be small, a bit dingy and touching, and only people who had problems. Nobody go there to talk to the police about issues that are preventing anything. It's been a real bad case in going there. And one of the issues that we were very concerned was like, we had a domestic issue. Girlfriend go to the station to complain, boyfriend stand right behind her. And what you'd have is argument like, officer tell you woman to come on, my woman said more. Anything she said, it was audible to everybody. So when it changed that, I would say you must design a reception area in the police work. It's a functioning workspace, but a reception area, not a guard room. You're guarded when we have the police have detained you, and you're protected if they have to take you outside. But you're at the reception area, but they have space to discuss and meet police officers. And for that kind of system, we have to do that kind of design to ensure that the officer in command at an office, a lot of these stations, especially small ones, there's no space for officer in charge. And that kind of activity is what we're facing. So we have to go on, not only build new station, design a police station. It's important to do so, and if you tour here today, you'll see the difference. And of course, as we modernize and put in place, the physical design is critical to all of this. Today, this marks the 10th station that I'm opening, new ones. Number 10. I have one near opening in Little London, make 11. Another round figure, and we have two special ones that we will complete in another 12 months or so, and I will be able to open them. The Simpson they will symbolize those station facts, two new stations, symbolizing more dramatically the change in the thinking of the country leaders and how we treat the police and the kind of police force that the country will have and need to have to ensure we can deal with criminal activity. The Sabama division headquarters and the Spanish Town division headquarters. I have said this story over and over, but I say it again when I walk to the Sabama police station. She was the one that the lady actually dropped to the floor and twisted her ankle, not Miss Matthew, thankfully, she's my friend. But officer did. And I work on her upstairs, so I see Miller was there at the time. Sorry. Mr. Moore, sorry. Your friend, who was there, will tell you. He operated the CIB and they operated on a veranda in our old house. And beside the files being exposed to rain and weather, the officer actually, in a high shoes, actually went through the floor. Because it's a fact of history. In the case of Spanish Town, I have to tell it up here, Mr. Stuart's good friend, Mr. Tall man. And when he was going to drop you at the bed, he bent it like a cubby hole. And we asked the commission to demolish both of them. It took a long time, but both are now under construction. And we'll ensure they open their customers over 5 billion combined, and you'll have what I think represents the kind of office where an individual will command over 700, and at the year command over 1,000 professionals will have a comfortable office to function. So that's the represent the kind of transformation. So we have 11 new stations, 13 new stations really, and we refurbished some 35 and impacted all the others to ensure basic minimum requirements are met dedicated before, and that involved about 191 police facilities. There's still some to go, and I can assure the young man, we're not stopping. We're still going forward. There's an article recently, marine patrol facilities. We know they are not in the best of shape and we work on getting those fixed. Maybe a little part of that chance was that you're aware that the marine police shares, they are the police. But in terms of the high seas patrol, the Coast Guard intervenes in a lot of work there. And given the high incidence of violence, gang activity in what you call the territorial areas on land, the police stations that were serving communities across Jamaica carried the higher priority in being done. Not a matter of disregarding them, and they are under this and they'll be dealt with, although there's another 6 that we have to complete. I could say, including Amity St. James, Bull Bay in St. Andrew, Mocko in Turner, a number of 68 currently going through, and Granville in St. James, all going through what we call the public investment process that we will ensure these communities will have the officers to work in these communities will have a good quality place to work from. That's a commitment we have done, that's the policy of the government, and the ROC program is designed to do that. We have to mention that because, again, having spent that kind of money, they didn't have to remind that at $90 billion, even the current atmosphere, when you drive on roads and we see big potholes in them, and they are still, despite unemployment at 3.2%, there's still a lot of young men in the corner doing a thing that they have to talk to. And sometimes even the police have to talk to. I know Mr. Miller and his team Mr. Samuels don't want to go there to meet them and have discussion to try and divert them. But it would have been easy and maybe more popular to have taken some of that money and do some patching here and there, do some crash program here and there. But we thought, and we are convinced we did the right thing, that public safety and good order has to be a priority. And we spent the money there. In fact, only recently, and we spread across housing trust, social fund on the ministry budget. We give the headquarters of $5 billion come out of the ministry, the government's budget. But the importance of this kind of activity was brought home to be sharply very recently, when a gentleman who is about to lead a company that wants to invest well over $1 billion US. Now when you convert to Jamaica, you get billions with zeros going on the road. In fact, ultimately I think his target is near to $2 billion. And he had wanted to meet police commander. I think he met with him, but he invited him to breakfast. The gentleman is former head of a banking institution in the United States. And effectively we had a very pleasant conversation. But halfway through I realized what was an interrogation of the Minister of National Security and what we had done in security. And he questioned everything, what we had done, how much we had invested, what had we invested in, how have we expanded police force, we had taken from 11 to 14,000. And then he said, well, you're getting results. I think yes, we said at the very beginning, and here some of them with the argument, and will be indicated in very clear and documented terms that we believe in strong policing, that we use certain legislation, state of public emergency, we introduce zones of special operation to ensure we could authorize the murder and the violence, but we are going to build the police force to a point where they could manage to deal with the criminal elements out there. I couldn't give a timeline, but we said we had a timeline to get the numbers up and provide them with equipment, which means across the pitching stations, because the policemen are not going to wait and see it to be fixed. And I say that complimentary, but we have to give them proper vehicles to move around it, where they get their communication right and ensure they begin to see impact in the quality of the environment they operate in, negotiate with them on a number of service conditions, etc. And get to the number where they could do all their routine services. Because bear in mind, you go to the courts, you have to have police officers there. We have put a domestic violence formation, you have the traffic branch and across, so they have a bit of responsibility that they cannot leave any. And they need the numbers. So I got all those questions and I said yes, and now we are getting results. Our reduction this year, I think the tipping point is some over 40% reduction in homicide. And in Area 1 and St. James and Mr. Stevenson, no, you have to, don't think I'm overcoming my team, you know, Mr. Richard, he's from the east, right? But that team in St. James is doing outstandingly well. We have a private job, right? But take care, we are at what, 60% reduction from last year. I remember St. James the highest homicide rate in the island. And my consensus of Northwest St. James was the highest. When we started going up 1 year, my friend and colleague, Council Senator Sinclair, looking at me. The constituency had 172 homicides. That is like a battlefield. I don't mean like a place in civil war. That's like a battlefield when you everything you cross there get shot. Today, earlier this year, we celebrated in Norwood 2 years murder free. 2 years. In the last 3 months, we haven't celebrated numbers in Flanker, but the sample is here, 0. Right? But the 0 is what is reflected more reflective of the change that you see. In Flanker, young business people are applying to the superintendent, and the Sam will meet and talk to them, and they get to have the party until 2 o'clock in the morning. 12 they get up, sorry, and the Lord tell me. But sometimes they squeeze it over here and there, don't try to plan it. Mr. Sam will give them to 12 o'clock. So, for many years, Blanca was a party center. When I got here, you had Wednesday, this is Thursday, and wet Friday and all kind of things. And everything stopped. Everything stopped. And now it is happening again, thanks to the work of the police and the commissioner. I go to Lendevan, and even while the names of the community ring through in the community and the members are visiting, so now Flank, Lendevan, Salt Spring and Canterbury will ring a bell. What I have to remind you, Lendevan was then the center of what you call the Stone Crusher crew. Of course, the late that were my followers, but Stone Crusher became the most famous at one stage and maybe the most well-resourced group of gangsters in Jamaica. But at this point in time, in Lendevan, in a little place called Bottom Pen, they have a party almost every Friday night. They get on to 12 o'clock, but then at the corner sometimes they just go on. Right? And nothing has happened in there. They have been having it continuously. In fact, futsal, which is a nice football activity, played sometime about barefoot, is all over the parish now, until all hours of the morning playing football. Again, thanks to the effort of the police force and what they have here. So, as my colleague mentioned, I use these as examples because the prayer meetings, the trauma to society, the students, is something that is not often recognized, and those who like to raise issues about rights. And I have to say without any apology, because my view, and I'm convinced the right view, that the citizens support me. People's right I must protect are the law-abiding citizens. And I must provide the men and women with legal framework in which to operate effectively, to serve and protect those that they're placed to serve. That's their main. I mentioned the entertainment because it's well known in Jamaica. These young men, young women, I know nothing to do because the violence was too severe. I give you a sharp example. Many and maybe before I conclude the young man attending Cornell College. He got a sixth form, a very poor family. I had to assist him. I see this mother, I'll tell you what she did to us. Go to the business. He lived in Norwood. Bright young man. When he was to do sixth form, we had to move him. He didn't have any proper legal life. He lived in a little lane of Harry Lane in Norway. But they had a little life as the usual way in the informal city. But the reason I had to move him is that if he stayed out late, he was in sixth form and the uniform for sixth form is white shirt and khaki. He could not afford to go home too late in a white shirt and khaki or be held up on rock. And he made it very clear. He had to find somewhere to study. Not only because he needed better lighting, but he was unsafe walking in his very community. He was well liked. Again, these rough community, they look at it, that's the bright one, leave him alone. That's the argument, and even the guy in the corner. But he could not go home dressed in a white shirt and a cut at night because somebody in the group might not recognize that this was Donald's coming home. So we got to move him. He got his 4 A-levels, right? And successfully completed medicine. It is that kind of peace and safety that we have to get in our community, right? And these are the young men, young women, and the families you must recognize, with rights you must recognize, right? The Charter of Rights was passed by this administration, earlier time, the time Mr. Gordon was Prime Minister, and much of the development of the work was done by Mr. Golding and Mr. Siaga in creating that charter. Those who try to use it to restrict and impair the work of the police is what they are doing, and I say that without any apology. Those who would like to use the legal framework of the Charter of Rights to restrict and impair the government's executive authority to protect its citizens is being dishonest and don't understand the challenge out there. And I want to have to commend my Prime Minister and party leader for the way I stood, faced it, use the law effectively and provide the police with the resources that today we may not need that legislation, which is what we said at the very beginning. We would provide strong legislative framework which the Constitution allows. We use the SOE, State of Public Emergency, zones of special operations still, to protect our citizens until we could build out the police force. And not only build it out in physical infrastructure, but provide the leadership and the required training framework that is in place, and the country can take, not only take comfort, but be confident in the JCF today. The policing is a professional discipline like any other. It's one of the few professional individuals lacking the requisite training. Experts or operators understand feeling type to dictate what. This is one of the few where individuals lacking, and I want to listen carefully, it's not wearing the police, the professional police. The professional of the police force is established. Or you want to source intervention, what? Hand out some breakfast things, and you do it once a year and the people hungry for the rest of the year. But you take a picture and put it on the front page and an editorial committee and have a big publication that I'm doing wonderful things for the community. The children are said, like young Donaldson, when they find a place to study, they take him up one day and give him a prize for being first informed in science. But when he couldn't study and fail the exam and disappear in the ghetto where he's from, nobody remember them. Those are the people that I have to be considered, and people like Councillor Sinclair and others who work together to find them, or young Vernon who walks the campus freely, anytime, where we could. Those rights are protected. So today, it's not just myself or council walking here. We have so struck the police that they then feel free to go home, and they will do well in the station. Right? They will do well without even our direct involvement. But again, I said last week, and my speech will be given out to the peace, so I will repeat it. And I think I need to repeat over and over. Neither Indicom, nor human rights lawyer, nor pastor who has the right to recover lost souls, nor teachers, anyone have the privilege or the right to instruct the police how to do police work. Policing is for police professionals. Equipment, we buy them, and we buy them more. They spend a lot of money. We design a uniform to wear them. They didn't reach that at the beginning. They didn't say that when we were out there. They were charged the police with being unprofessional, unethical, and criminal. But they wanted to wear a camera that they could wear, because the old pinstripe uniform could not carry a camera. So when they go on the street, they gave them some cameras, Somebody gave them some cameras. And when I took office, my commissioner returned the cameras. They gave them back. And they're not appropriate for Jamaica. But when they put them on, they would flip over and they take the policeman's face. And they say the policeman do it to hide what he's doing. That's what they thought about police officers. Well, we went about and Commissioner Blake, then they come to the research and find a uniform that they're now wearing that have the necessary design to carry non-lethal weapon that the police must carry. Police force, none of the so-called experts and rights hands were able to do that. Even thought of it. Harassment. Now they're on the police and writing big articles about police. Must do that, must do this. We have bought them cameras. Mr. Mackenzie is here. The PSTB is wearing cameras. And nobody in Jamaica have seen any viral activity recently with policeman and taximan a fight like two people in the backyard, in the schoolyard. They are there, and you see a professional engagement, because the taxi man know him can't tell lie on the policeman or take a picture where it look like or fight with him, and they go and say the police attack him. That was the story. It's a clean shot, and they have an automated ticketing system which we brought in place. But before this, when police issue tickets, if the police gonna try and post the money for the weekend because the ticket don't go nowhere. We had over 1 million tickets parked at the courthouse in Kingston because the system wasn't working. We have provided an effective system. And Mr. Mackenzie, the young men know them smart, they are technology people, not like me who all don't understand computer. They have them ticketing machine, them stop you. Concept XYZ, may I see your license, I'm doing that. Are you speeding there? What's your name? And they punch in the name, and it's gone. And we're going to catch him, we can turn up at the tax office at the courthouse already there. Automated, works well. That's what the camera is for, to improve engagement between the public and the police, and it is doing so very well. When they are operation which the police think they can use cameras and make value, if it will add value, they will do it. I trust the police to do that. But I remind them, I did the research. There are very few cameras that are designed to be worn in operations, in not routine. So don't listen to this nonsense, because when you're in a combat and a camera just attached to your helmet, you can knock off, and then when you put the police against them, much better deliberately. There are no cameras designed for that kind of operation. But I am confident that the commissioner, where their operation require uniform, and where cameras may improve operations in doing PSTV, they'll assign them. We're buying them more. There's someone not giving them cameras. But it is the commissioner and his team of officers, and they will speak to the federation that must decide when any police equipment, like camera, pen, traffic machine, or anything else, or tasers, is utilized by the officer. Nobody else has the right to get about the police in all circumstances, because difficult, tough circumstances, police fans have been killed. You want to expose them to more risk? I will not support it, and the officers know I give them full support. The operational independence of the police force is that must be guarded without any qualifications. If they breach the law, it is dealt with. We have their own internal professional standards, anti-probe. We have MOCA that investigates any alleged corruption, and we have the Integrity Commission and INDICO. And none of them are ever impaired in pursuit of their duty to investigate police officers. So why do I need to go and seek to put further review? I have 5 bodies of 6 people always examine the police to see where they go wrong. There are more people police than the police of course. Yet I must keep adding to it. Inappropriate. So my friends, today, as may have gone a bit too long, it's hot, but rock is not finished. There's more to be done. We'll rebuild, we'll overhaul and construct the station that the police force requires. We will provide Jamaica with a police force with good service conditions and with good equipment to operate modern. If you go to Hopewell down the road and you look in this one today, you begin to see the kind of police station. It is clean, well organized, functionally satisfactory, and equipped with modern technology. You look at that police car, you put in more technology. They have cameras in there. They have cameras all the place. Right? We are putting more cameras on the streets in the CCTV, Jamaica High program, and we are building out the back room to provide the support required in the C5 center. Within a very short time, this government, led by Horris, and whose mission and privilege I operate, the work I carry out, will ensure Jamaica has the finest police force in the Western Hemisphere, well equipped and can deal with all the criminal violence that happen to impair Jamaican society. We are prepared for it. We are providing a foundation to build a peaceful, prosperous, and functionally healthy society. That's the police here, their mission, and this Minister commits to keeping the support of the police force in place to ensure they'll achieve their goals. Again, my friends, it's my pleasure to be here today. We look forward to your station. Despite the day, I'm sorry I kept it so long, but it's a subject of which I'm passionate about, but I feel very good that we are today set 41% below the homicide rate, 20% last year, 8% before for that high, and we're going to take it down to normal levels. Yet this government, this minister, has the kind of force and the leadership of the force to ensure provide the resources we can get to the level that we used to be at post-independence. Jamaica not murders people, we're going to get back to 600,000. But now we are taking it down in a legal framework, even though they denied us the strong measures at the beginning. We are working at it and we're getting it done and we're making the investment required. And those investments, said public, my police officer, that we put in them, the return is high. We appreciate it because when there's peace, we get more investment. Not only dance with us. When them people at them dance, they make money. We build house, we get hotels, we get new business, and that's what will make the country more prosperous and safe, and we can pay our public servants more, and the entire country will fix the roads, the schools, not only police stations. My friends, my privilege to be here. Time hot, so thank you much. Thanks for being patient and listening to me. We look forward to some more news stations in that
in the development and safety of our community. I'd like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. the Honorable Horris Chang, Deputy Prime Minister of Jamaica and Minister of National Security, for taking the time out of his demanding schedule to be here with us today. Sir, your leadership and commitment to national security continues to inspire confidence and progress across the island. We look forward to seeing other great security measures in our country. Special thanks also goes out to Honorable, as I like to call him, Homer Davis, my Member of Parliament. And just permit me again, Master of Ceremonies, it was in this very same position, this spot, that I guess, Sir Samuels, you were the DSP, were the superintendent, that were standing here 2 years ago, March 3rd, looking and trying to figure out the orientation of this building. And MP, 2 years after, your advocacy has delivered it to the people of Anchovy and St. James Southern. And for that, your hard work is continuously be commended, celebrated, and supported. To the contractors, engineer, architect, and all those who contribute to the planning, construction, and completion of this building, we say thanks to you. Your hard work has provided our community with a modern facility that will enhance the capacity of our police officers to serve and protect. To my fellow local government representatives, community leaders and residents, your support and collaboration has made this achievement possible. Let us continue working together to ensure that this station becomes not just a building, but a beacon of safety, service, and partnership within our community. In closing, let us all leave here with a renewed commitment to peace, cooperation, and national development. On behalf of the people of St. James Southern and the wider Anchovy community, I extend sincere thanks to everyone who played a part in today's success. May God continue to bless you all, and may He continue to bless Jamaica, land we love. I thank you.
All right, guys. Well, that concludes the vlog. If you made it this far, you're the realest MVP. Thank you so very much for the support. Right? And turn on post notifications so I can catch you guys at the next vlog. Right? I'm gonna be doing a vlog about the best jerk chicken in Jamaica, the best hotels in Jamaica, all of that stuff. So stay tuned, guys.